close, sorry. Yeah, my name's John Smith. I've been asked to come down and have a bit of a chat to you all, but first and foremost, thanks for having me. I appreciate your time. Yeah, the subject I want to cover with you, the students especially, is not giving up. That's what a lot of the students are struggling with nowadays, so I've heard. I know things are challenging and everything, but it's key, it's vital to keep doing what you're doing and pursue your dreams and everything. But I've got 5 or 6 minutes to tell you a 10-year story, so if I miss anything out, I am sorry. But yeah, growing up, I mean, I had a pretty simple life, simple upbringing. I always into sport. I started boxing when I was 5 years old, up until I was around 15, 16, something like that. Suffered a spinal injury back in 2006, which left me paralysed, obviously. And yeah, when I was in hospital, I obviously got the bad news. Doctor comes up to me and says, "Right, sorry, I know you're a young kid, 16 years old and everything, but that's basically it, you're never going to walk again." And I think, right, okay, that's a bit of news too. It's quite hard to take in, don't get me wrong, I was 16 years old, I didn't really quite understand what it was meant to have, what they call paralysis and everything like that. But yeah, I spent a little bit of time in hospital. I mean, I was down, I was really down. 16 years old, just been told you're never going to walk again is a little bit of a situation, but I'll never forget it. I was in the hospital ward. I was in hospital for a total of 6 months. And I had my mum and dad with me. I mean, got this devastating news. I looked to my left, and there's my dad. He's not, you can imagine, this is my dad. A little bit depressed, obviously, as you can imagine. I look at my mum, that was for 2 days. I was thinking, I can't have this. I can't give up, because if I give up, if I go the other way instead of trying to motivate people, get myself up and out of bed, do something with myself, if I don't do that, forget about me, what's my family going to be like? So I said to my mum and dad, I said, don't worry, I've got this. It's a little problem, just an obstacle, we'll figure this out. So I went through my rehabilitation. I was in the Stoke Mandeville spinal unit for, like I say, just 5.5 months, just under 6 months. I tried a few different sports along the years. I mean, a friend of mine got me into amateur bodybuilding, which wasn't too bad. I mean, it got me active, it got me my upper body strength and everything like that. Switched to powerlifting, did a little bit of that, which wasn't too bad. I think I broke a couple of national records, weightlifting records, but it wasn't enough. I mean, I did these sports, it felt good. I felt good to be up and about. Out of hospital, I mean, I was about 20 years old at the time. And London 2012, I don't know if anybody remembers the Paralympic Games, the Olympic Games in London 2012. And I thought, I'm watching this. I saw the wheelchair racers, like, obviously this is my chair, by the way, down, this is my equipment. The boys are flying around in these, and I thought, that's where I need to be. This looks exciting. I mean, I remember the crowds. I remember they said when David Weir crossed the line and won gold, the decibels were higher than Mo Farah when he won his gold. And I thought, this is para sport at its best. How can I get to this? So I like to look at the racing, but a coach told me, you're quite big, you look strong. Let's go to throwing. Let's try shot put and javelin and stuff like that. So it comes round to, I'm up in 2013 now. I get into javelin, into shot put. I turned out to be a very good javelin thrower. I mean, of all the things in the world, I mean, we're going from boxing, powerlifting, bodybuilding, I end up being a javelin thrower. So this is Berlin. I'm in Berlin. This is 2014. I'm currently ranked number 1 in the world, undefeated in my disability, like my disability category. And I'm warming up in Germany, in Berlin, for this. It's the Paralympic Championships, International Paralympic Championships. So a friend of mine pulls me over. She's a head coach. She goes, "Right, John, so I've got a bit of bad news for you. Your event has just been pulled out of Rio, out of the 2016 Games." So I'm like, right, okay, so what does this mean? And she says, I said, where can I take this? How far can I go? So if there's no Paralympics Is there World Championships? Is there European Championships? She says no. She said, the furthest you can go is if you win gold here today. So now I'm like, well, you could have picked a better time to tell me this. I'm just about to literally throw, I'm warming up, you know. So she goes, like, sorry, I've got to break it to you. It's customary, I've got to tell you this. So I'm thinking, right, okay. I go out to the stadium. I'm there, the crowds are there and everything. In javelin, you get 6 throws. Like, you can take as much time as you need between each throw. I'm last to go because I'm defending champion. So I go out there, I get my throwing chair and everything. First javelin I pick up, I throw it. I beat everybody else by about a small margin, say a couple of feet whichever. And I'm like, right, okay, so I've won this, I've won gold. And then they say, right, yeah, congratulations, do you want to take your other 5 throws? I said, no, I said, don't worry about it. I said, oh, you forfeit? I'm like, no, I don't want to forfeit. I'm just saying I don't need to take the other 5 throws. I've won the competition, that's all I need. So right over the back of the stadium, like, I see my friend who's giving me the news, I just go, now what? You know what I mean? What do I do? Go back to my locker room. There's a text which she sends me. She says, see you on the track with a question mark. So I'm like, right, okay. I've always had track in the back of my mind. I like the look of it. It's a good sport. On the plane home, I literally Google local wheelchair races in Kent. This was on the Sunday. Monday morning, I turn up at a track. I meet my coach now. Her name's Jenny Archer. She's been there with me from day one. I go, right, Jen. Never seen a racing chair, never touched one, only seen it on telly. I said, but I want to be a racer. I said, javelin's been taken away from me. I need to do sport. I can't give up on my dream. Sooner or later, I've got to get to the Paralympics. So she said, right, that's great. Well and good, do what you've got to do. So now I'm racing. I've been doing this is just going into my 3rd season. 2017 is my 1st season. 2016 was a big year for me because obviously the Rio Paralympic Games and everything. This is in April last year, and I go to Korea for the marathon because we're trying to chase all these fast times. You go to abroad, different courses to try to get fast times, you know. So while I'm over it, I develop a skin ulcer. It's literally no more than a 20p. Comes up on my thigh up here. So I think, right, this is a problem. This could get worse. I've got to go to the hospital to do what I've got to do. I put it off. I've done the London Marathon, injured, went to Korea, ended up developing even worse. So I go back to the spinal unit, I see my consultant. He says, right, if you come in here, if you admit yourself now, you're in hospital at least 6 months. So I said, hold on a minute, I've got the Paralympics in 3 months. I can't admit myself into the hospital. So he goes, that's all right, no problem, just have some major surgery, we'll amputate your leg. So I'm like, oh yeah, so you've given me such a variety of choices here, you know, thank you very much. So it basically says, if you admit yourself, your Paralympic dream is over. I'm not talking about Japan in 2020, it said this year, everything you worked for is over. No ifs, no buts, if you're in hospital, you're not leaving. So I talked to my family and said, look, health's more important than athletics, admit yourself in the hospital. I'm in there for 3 months. I get a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, congratulations, you're on the list to go. Just keep doing what you're doing, you'll progress, you'll be there, no problem. So I'm like, right, great, but sorry, but I'm in hospital now. Paralympics are gone. I'm laying in a hospital bed watching the Paralympics. But this is what I'm getting to not giving up. Instead of being there depressed and crying and everything like that, I had a pen and paper in my hand. I wrote down who won the marathon event and what time he did. And I was just like, right, if that's what you're going to do, mate, I'm going to do 2 minutes quicker. If you win gold, I'm going to win gold in 2020. I'm going to win 2. If you win 3, I'm going to win 4. And that is literally how I come out of hospital. But the consultant says, do not touch your racing chair until January. I come out in September. He says, do not touch your racing chair until January. You need at least 3 or 4 months recovery. All right, yeah, no problem at all. I was discharged on Monday. I was training Tuesday. I couldn't help it, you know, I've got to do it. And just a prime example for you, I'll show you this trophy. I was discharged in September. This trophy, this one here, says October 2016. It's got first place on it. So that's what I can do. And that's where it can take you. I mean, And so I've learned quite a bit that students and athletes are completely the same. You've got your homework, you've got to get up early in the morning, you've got to study. I'll wake up 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 6 a.m, 7 a.m, whichever the time is, I'll push miles. I go to the gym in the afternoon. I train 5 or 6 hours a day. I know you study similar times to that. It takes hard work and dedication. And if you want to give up, that's fine, but you can't blame the person next to you if you don't succeed. The difference between a good athlete and a bad athlete, and a good student and a bad student, is who puts in the hard work. That's all it comes down to. We all come from the same place. We're no different than anybody else. We're all the same. We're all equals. But the difference between someone who's very, very good at what they do and not is who puts in the dedication. That's where I'm going to leave you. Thank you very much.